and welcome to another edition of the Science House Express, brought to you by the Science House of North Carolina State University. My name is Danielle Parker, and I'm the Assistant Director of our Mountain Satellite Office here in beautiful Western North Carolina. I've been spending this wonderful spring day in my garden. In the spring and summer, I like to grow some of the vegetables that we would normally otherwise buy at the grocery store. I find this helps me cut down on food waste in the kitchen. Did you know that 30 to 40% of food in the U.S. ends up as waste, destined for a landfill? And the average American family of 4 throws out $1,600 a year in produce. That's a lot of food and a lot of money. Are there ways we can help reduce this impact? There are. Today I'm going to show you one way you can help reduce waste and grow something beautiful in the process.
Welcome to my kitchen. You know, I made a big yummy salad for dinner the other night, and I realized I had a lot of food waste left over. So I decided instead of throwing it away, I would try to regrow it. Want me to show you how? Of course, lettuce is the first item I used. I used romaine lettuce, but there's lots of different types of lettuce you can use, and they're all pretty easy to grow. After cutting off the leaves for the salad, it's important to cut off a small sliver of the stalk. This is important for water uptake. Once you've cut that off, just place the stalk into a little cup of water and place it in a windowsill for some light. After a few days, your lettuce should start to look like this. It's growing. Can you think of other types of produce that would grow back similar to romaine lettuce? What about celery or maybe kale? See what you have that might be similar in your refrigerator and give it a shot. I also used avocados in my salad. I love avocados, and believe it or not, you can grow your own avocado tree just like mine. The key is to save the seed. Don't throw it in the trash. There are a variety of methods for getting your avocado seed to sprout, but I always use the wet and dark method. Let me show you how. Once you have removed your seed from the avocado, make sure you rinse it off and get all of that green gook off of it. Then take a wet paper towel, wrap your avocado seed in the wet paper towel, and place it in a container of some sort. I'm just using a recycled plastic bag. Once you have that done, place it in a dark spot. I use a cupboard or somewhere I remember to check on it frequently. In a couple of weeks, you should start to see your seeds start to sprout. When that happens, it's time to plant. This guy's been in my cupboard for a little while, but he's not really ready. I would probably leave him in there for a couple more weeks, but you can see where he's starting to crack and that shoot's gonna come through. I'm gonna go ahead and plant this guy so you can see how to do it though. Always remember to plant your seed root side down and shoot side up in a potting container with some soil. You can use any kind of container. You can upcycle or recycle containers such as milk cartons or soda bottles. I'm just using an old planter. Once you've placed your seed into your planter and covered it with soil, make sure you put it in some sunlight. And then don't forget to water it. In a few weeks, your avocado seed will start to sprout from the soil, and eventually it's going to look similar to mine. Believe it or not, this big guy came from a small little seed just like the one we just planted. But don't expect avocados to bear fruit anytime soon. It could take 7 to 10 years for an avocado tree to bear fruit, if it ever does at all. But it's still really pretty and makes a great houseplant. Can you think of other produce you could grow from seeds? What about lemons or tomatoes? I have a lemon tree right here that I grew from seed as well. I did it just like the avocado seed. The only difference is I put that lemon seed in the sunlight instead of in the dark. Some seeds grow better in the sunlight and some of them will sprout better in the dark. I wonder which ones. That would actually make a really great investigation. Another item I used in my salad was green onion. I use a lot of green onions when I'm cooking, so it works out well for me to regrow them. Here's how you can do it too. After using as much of the onion as you want, find the dried up root end and very gently slice it off at the very edge of the roots. You should be left with the bulb still intact. Next, place the bulb root side down in some water in a jar or a cup, and then place that in a windowsill where it gets some sunlight. Onions grow really fast, so within 24 to 48 hours, you should start to see roots appear, followed by new blade growth on the top. You can continue to grow your onions in water, changing the water every couple of days, or try planting your rooted onions in your garden. What other kinds of produce are similar to onions? What about garlic? I wonder if that would grow the same way. One last item I wanted in my salad was pineapple. Did you know that if you add pineapple to anything, it will most certainly make it better? Well, that's my theory anyway. Pineapples are in the bromeliad family, and there are not many other bromeliads that we eat. But I thought it'd be really fun to try to grow one. The easiest way to do that is to cut the top leafy part of the pineapple off the fruit. Then take that top and replant it in a pot or a reusable container with some potting soil. And voila! You get to enjoy the fruit and have a really cool bromeliad houseplant. Similar to the avocado, don't expect to get fruit right away. It could take a few years for that to happen. I planted this pineapple about 3 years ago and I haven't gotten any fruit yet, but I hope to soon. So what other produce do you have in your fridge ready to be regrown? When you're thinking about growing leftover produce and you're not sure which method to use, consider which part of the plant you're working with. Is it the root, the stems, the leaf, or the flower? And what eventually comes from the flower? That's right, the seed. Here are some things you might need to regrow food waste. Paper towels, jars or shallow dishes, pots or upcycled materials such as K-cups, milk, or soda bottles, and of course potting soil. Use the methods I've shown you once you've figured out what part of the plant you have, and post what you've grown in the comments. I can't wait to see what you come up with, and you'll be doing your part to help reduce food waste. But you might be wondering, what if I have other food waste that can't be regrown, like peelings or coffee grounds? Well, stay tuned for a future episode where we'll talk about composting. Thank you for joining me, and don't forget to tune in Friday when we will be talking with Jeff Chandler from the Mountain Horticulture Research Station, where we'll discuss where your food comes from and the importance of agriculture.